Buenos dias. It's been quite a while since I've done that. Felt good to get that out of my system. Let me know in the comments section. Do we like the TV going on in the background here? Do we not like it? Kind of showcasing off something that I recently purchased. If you've been following the channel, you are well aware of it. If this is your first time here, you wouldn't be well aware of it. So welcome, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 500,000 subscribers, but we talk about video game crap on this channel. I have 2 video game stories that I found very interesting that happened within the past 24 hours that I want to talk about. So maybe you'll find them interesting. And yeah, without any further ado, let's just get into what's going on in the world of video games. Now, the PlayStation 5. You know, I'm not a Nintendo YouTuber, so we're talking about PlayStation 5 first and foremost. This has been, this whole console generation for both Xbox and PlayStation has been interesting because of the supply and demand sort of situation that we had. These systems released in the middle of a pandemic. You couldn't just really go into a store and buy them. So it hasn't been exactly the easiest experience to purchase a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X. Now, obviously things have gotten a lot better. Things have gotten a lot easier as well. So it isn't really as much of a problem now in 2023 than it was in previous years. But still, you have the whole pricing situation. You know, oh, these are expensive systems. Do I even really need these systems? Well, if you haven't bought a PlayStation 5 yet, you might want to wait. I don't know. You know, looking at this story, it seems to me it's just like sort of basing it on a trend. And I get that. Like, there's nothing wrong with basing things on a trend, especially when we're talking about a hardware manufacturing company. But I just feel like I don't know. So this story is coming to us from Insider Gaming, and it basically says the following stuff. Exclusive. This is an exclusive. PlayStation 5 Pro in development, could release late in 2024. So evidently there's a PlayStation 5 Pro already in development, because I guess we've tapped out the capabilities of the PlayStation 5 as it is. Insider Gaming sources have confirmed that PS5 Pro is in development and could release with a tentative release date of late 2024. Insider Gaming previously reported that a new PlayStation 5 with a detachable disc drive is scheduled to release later this year. It's understood that this new model will phase out the current PlayStation 5 to cut down on production and shipping costs. In spite of widespread reports, this is not the PS5 Pro model. This is just the beginning of new hardware coming to PlayStation users this generation, said one source when talking about the detachable disc drive. So basically then they kind of talk about, you know, different things like what kind of specs you should expect. You know, it's going to accelerate ray tracing performance in games because everyone gives a crap about ray. Like, does anyone care about ray tracing really as far as like a selling point? I don't think that's a selling point this generation like these companies want it to be. So it'll have an increase in visual performance. It means that the PlayStation 6 could come out in 2028 behind this. Tom Henderson is the one reporting this. So I'm not trying to take shots at anyone or anything like that, but I feel like this is a situation where it's kind of like, I am rushing to get out information that I feel like could be right, just in case it is right, and then I look smart. You know, I can go back and be like, oh, look, you know, a PlayStation 5 Pro was announced. Well, I said that this was going to come out, you know, before the end of 2024 on this article from back in 2023. And I get it. You know, you could look back at the whole Switch Pro situation and be like, well, people were doing the same sort of thing with that. But I felt like, you know, at least there was other people talking about it, you know, places like Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal, whereas this report is just coming from Tom himself. Like I said, I'm taking this with a grain of salt. I feel like a pro system or a revised system that adds more strength is needed when you start hitting, you know, limitations within the hardware. You know, a Nintendo Switch Pro makes perfect sense because they've been hitting hardware restrictions and limitations with that hardware for a very long time now. PlayStation 5, I don't feel like the system is tapped out. I don't feel like we've seen everything the system is capable of, especially considering, you know, most of the games, you know, I think like a game like Spider-Man 2, that's really going to showcase, you know, what this system is capable of, built from the ground up only for the PlayStation 5 without having a PlayStation 4 restriction, you know, attached to it. So I guess maybe this could be a thing, you know, a PlayStation 5 Pro, but I don't know. I think if you're in the market for a PlayStation 5, you're pretty much safe going ahead and buying one right now. I don't think you have to worry too much about a Pro, but worst case, I mean, just sell it on eBay or take it to GameStop and trade it in and get your shiny PlayStation 5 Pro that's coming out late 2024 for some reason. And finally, if you're a Metroid fan, you have been eating well recently because Nintendo seems to remember that Metroid is a thing. Of course, you had Metroid Dread, fantastic game, a game that, you know, I thoroughly enjoyed playing. Nintendo tried to get me in trouble over it. Of course, there was the whole thing that I said it wasn't going to sell 3 million copies in a year, and I mean, it didn't, so, you know, whatever, you know, it's a thing, accept it. Nintendo never updated those numbers, so I can't just assume. But don't be mad about that. It's all jokes. But beyond that, of course, there's been new things in 2023. Metroid Prime Remastered, one of my favorite games of this year. Like, I am thoroughly just blown away by the amount of work that actually went into that and the final product that we got in terms of, you know, visual quality and stuff like that. And Metroid Fusion recently released, and, you know, Metroid fans have been eating good. You know, it's great to have all these games, you know, coming to one platform. But if you've played Game Boy Advance games before, you would know that there is a game that is available for the Game Boy Advance within the Metroid lineage that, well, pretty much everyone wants. Metroid Zero Mission. Now, this was a game that was sort of a remake of Metroid 1 on the NES. It kind of fleshed out the game to be more in a bit of a Super Metroid style as far as storytelling is concerned and visual aesthetics. It's a stupidly great game. I don't know why I said stupidly, but I said stupidly. No, but seriously, it's a fantastic game. A game that I thoroughly enjoyed playing back in the day, especially considering that, you know, Metroid, the first Metroid game, there is a bit of a barrier when it comes to, you know, playing the game because it's an older NES game where this is much more accessible. Well, of course, we have Game Boy Advance on the Nintendo Switch Online service, and it seems like if you're waiting for Metroid Zero Mission, you won't be waiting for much longer. So, Metroid Zero Mission screenshots were found on Nintendo Switch Online by a data miner. So, this is actually an updated story from the original story. Basically, a data miner, you know, they like to pick around and look for data within different updates and different things with Nintendo Switch Online. But there's actually link cable support with Metroid Fusion for Metroid Zero Mission that was found within the screenshots of it. More people are taking notice of this. Some may think that these are just random screenshots, but they do not modify the games and stuff. But these are definitely screenshots for how to use the link instructions by their file names. So basically, then they go on to elaborate. I do not have an English screenshot on hand, but no joke, they wrote instructions on how to use the link feature for every game where you can do that for both GB and GBA Nintendo Switch Online. These screenshots would be used here. So there seems to be a lot of, you know, thought process that basically, you know, Metroid Fusion and Metroid Zero Mission could have some cross connectivity. There could be some more things, of course, with games like Pokemon. You know, Pokemon back in the day had a lot of stuff with the link cable support and, you know, being able to trade different Pokemon, all sorts of things that you could do. So is link cable support coming to games and you're able to do it online, potentially with friends? Maybe, you know, like, I'm not quite sure how that would work, but it does seem like there is some reason to believe that. But the more important thing about this, I don't care about the link cable support. I want Metroid Zero Mission on my Switch. That's what I want. So, you know, there's a lot of systems on Nintendo Switch Online, especially if you have the expansion pack now. So Nintendo's going to have to sort of balance, you know, what games are going to come out for what system. And hopefully we see Metroid Zero Mission pretty soon. But, you know, keep giving us the goods, man. Keep giving us the stuff on Nintendo Switch Online because, you know, we're paying for this service. Keep expanding upon it. But I'm definitely very excited for this. Let me know if you played Metroid Zero Mission in the comment section down below. And if you haven't, you're a heathen and you're going to hell. Alrighty, so that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, be sure to give me all your feedback in the comment section down below. Do we like the TV? Do we not like the TV? My mini PC preloaded with a bunch of stuff. Games has come in since I'm selling the collection. I have a date for when Phoenix Resale is coming to pick up the collection. It's going to be very exciting. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, how kind of the game room is, you know, changed up a bit. But I'm definitely looking forward to this. And I can play all the games on that thing pretty much. You'll see a video on it in the very near future. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Hit the bell notification as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.